You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. A number of wilayas in the governorates of Dhofar and Al-Wusta witnesses rainfalls and the tropical storm Luban moves towards Yemen. And the Public Authority for Civil Aviation affirms the continuity of air travels through Salalah Airport as normal and denies rumors on the suspensions of the flights. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. The latest weather charts of the National Multi-Hazard and Early Warning Center show that the center of the tropical storm Luban is in the Arabian Sea at latitude 14.9 degrees north and longitude 55.5 degrees east and around 250 kilometers away from Salalah city, with a surface wind speed ranging between 93 and 102 kilometers per hour. The Public Authority for Civil Aviation said that tropical storm Luban continues to move in west-northwest direction towards Yemen and to the adjacent coasts of the governorate of Dhofar. Numerical weather prediction charts show that the governorate of Dhofar is likely to be affected by heavy rain and thunder shower today and tomorrow, 13th and 14th of October, with strong winds of 56 to 83 kilometers per hour and high seas with a maximum wave height of 6 to 8 meters. Indirect impact on the southern parts of the governorate of Al-Wusta continues with scattered rains, occasionally heavy with winds of 46 to 56 kilometers per hour and high seas. The Public Authority for Civil Aviation calls on everyone to follow official weather bulletins, take utmost precautions, not to risk crossing flowing wadis, move away from low-lying areas, and not to venture out to the sea. His Excellency Sayyid Mohammed bin Sultan Al Busaidi, State Minister and Dhofar Governor, paid a visit to the Civil Defense Subcommittee to be debriefed on the latest weather updates and the readiness of all sectors in the governorate. His Excellency stated that the collaborative efforts from all government institutions are appreciated and that preparations and readiness are much better as they have gained more experience in dealing with such weather condition and have benefited from the previous weather encounter. The local emergency management center in Dhofar is working closely with the National Emergency Management Center to ensure the continuity of basic utilities by activating the National Plan for Crisis and Emergency Management. Meanwhile, ROP Special Task Force continues its efforts to evacuate residents of coastal areas and provide shelter services. Rainfalls continues in a number of the wilayats in the governorates of Dhofar and Al-Wusta. Mid to heavy rains were observed on the wilayat of Dalkut with heavy winds and the speed of cumulus clouds. Meanwhile, Wilaya of Rakhyut witnessed rainfalls of varying degrees due to the impact of the weather condition Luban, resulting in overflood of wadis. We leave you with scenes from the Wilayat. In the Wilayat of Sadah, villages received heavy rainfall resulting in the flow of waris. The Wilayat recorded around 23 millimeters, which is the highest recorded participation until now. Coast Guard received yesterday a distress call from 2 passing ships, and 26 Asians who were on board of these ships were rescued in coordination with Salalah Port Company. Scattered cumulus clouds witnessed in the Governorate of Al-Wusta with heavy winds in the wilayats of Al-Duqm and Al-Jazar, resulting in increasing the wave heights. The 2 wilayats witnessed also met to heavy rainfalls. The Public Authority for Civil Aviation confirmed the continuity of air travels in Salalah Airport as normal and denied the rumors on the suspension of the flights. The authority also stated that there will be no change or suspension in the flight schedule unless there is any danger to the aircrafts, pointing out that there are 16 scheduled flights. The decision to suspend air travel can only be done through the Public Authority for Civil Aviation and operator of Salalah Airport after full review of potential hazards or threats to the safety of the air travel. The authority urged the people to take information from its official sources with respect to the airport of weather condition. Major General Matar bin Salim Liblushi, the Army Chief for the Joint Forces in Shimukh 2 and Swift Sword 3, made a site visit to ROP HQ and the National Committee for the Civil Defense to review the current status and ensure the readiness to execute the next stages as per the general plan for the 2 exercises and other accompanying plans. The commander of the Royal Army of Oman listened to a comprehensive brief on completed tasks and missions in the two headquarters and the following military actions in scenario-based military combat. Still to come on News Bulletin. Russian capital Moscow witnessed the end of the motorbike season with a parade. Israeli forces shot dead 6 Palestinians yesterday in one of the deadliest days in months of mass protest along the security fence separating Gaza and Israel. At least another 140 Palestinians were wounded by live bullets. 4 of those killed were targeted at one of the 5 camps along the fence where protesters convened. The Israeli army said that it fired at several Palestinians who blew up a section of the fence, breached it and approached soldier positions. Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh, who attended a protest in East Gaza City, said that the termination of the Palestinian people will break the siege. The Israeli military said that 14,000 Palestinians thronged the border fence areas, burning tires and throwing rocks, fire bombs and grenades at soldiers stationed atop earth mounds on the other side of the barrier. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has visited an Indonesian city shattered by the earthquake and tsunami to assess the impact of the disasters. Guterres visited the city of Palu on Sulawesi Island during a trip to Bali to attend the annual meetings of the International Monetary Fund and World Bank. Guterres visited Balaroa, where the September 28th quake liquefied soft soil and tore apart neighborhoods and the coastal area of Talisi, which was badly damaged by the tsunami that followed the magnitude 7.5 quake. The official death toll had risen to 2,073 as of Thursday. Aerial footage of the destruction brought by Hurricane Michael showed numerous blocks of homes demolished, reduced to splintered lumber or mere concrete slabs by the most powerful hurricane to hit the continental U.S. in nearly 50 years. Search and rescue teams found at least one body in Mexico Beach, the ground zero town nearly obliterated by Hurricane Michael, and officials said on Friday as the scale of the storm's fury became ever clearer. The death toll across the south stood at 13, not counting any victims in Mexico Beach. Around 2,000 motorcyclists rode through the Russian capital Moscow today, marking the end of the motorbike season with a parade. The motorbike parade started in the city center, went around the Garden Ring and finished at the iconic Moscow State University. Traffic police took part in the parade as well, not only escorting the bikers but also showing spectacular tricks on motorbikes and patrol cars. For more updates on the tropical storm Luban, our reporter Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi is with us from the National Emergency Management Center to report on the latest developments of the tropical storm. Hello, Saleh.
Hello, Dalia. I'm at the National Emergency Management Center, and actually here we have specialists and representatives from governmental and private organizations who are working actually around the clock to deal with the situation. And to get more updates on the situation in the Gufar and Al-Wusta governorates, I have here with me Lieutenant Colonel Faisal bin Salim Al-Hajri, Director of the Executive Office at the National Committee for Civil Defense. Welcome, sir. So could you please brief us on the updates on Gufar and Al-Wusta governorates?
Well, as of today, we have had seen light to moderate rains in various parts of the southern part of Al-Wusta and the Gufar governorate. Until now, the situation seems calm and steady. We are expecting to see more and heavy rain during the coming hours, with high possibility of flash floods, landslide, and dry rise of water levels in lower areas. So we have been deploying our resources throughout the governorate, whether to respond to any search and rescue operations might be needed, or whether to evacuate and provide shelter. As of the hour now, we have around 1,317 persons, both Omanis and residents, at our shelters in the governorate of Gufar. This is out of 67 shelters that have been allocated and equipped in the governorate of Gufar, along with 4 shelters in Al-Wusta governorate, especially in Al-Jazir and Sofra area. As far as the medical services is concerned, we have transferred patients from Sultan Qaboos Hospital in Salalah to a more safe hospitals like the military hospital and other hospitals in the governorate. 2, we have been providing mobile generators, support, and other essential services to sustain any emergency services in the governorate, for example, especially when we talk about hospitals and medical facilities. We are making sure that food is available, and food reserve have been the Public Authority for Food Reserve, along with the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, have been working hard to make sure that essential goods and food items are widely available in the market. Prices are being monitored by the concerned authorities, and we are working with other organizations, for example, the Gufar municipality, in order to clean wadis and to make sure that wadi flow easily without any disturbances. We are working too with the Ministry of Tourism in making tourists aware of the situation and making hotels and other hospitality facilities ready to be evacuated if it seemed necessary. As far as the port, Salalah Port will start from tomorrow in gradual operations. Aviation is normal. We have, especially at this situation, we were to challenge ourselves by making sure lessons learned from Mikono cyclone is adopted. So we have mobilized mobile generators, making sure that water facilities and plants are working and sustained, and that electricity and power is working and sustained throughout the process. 2, we have been working with the telecommunication industry to make sure that communication is sustained throughout the situation. So this is, in general, the preparedness measures that we have been taking care of, and we have been, as I have mentioned, mobilizing resources, scattering them throughout the governorate, making sure that the risks is mitigated and effects of this cyclone will be minimized.
Okay, sir. What about I mean, we know that the center is also taking part in the national exercise al-Shumukh too. So how can you balance between your participation in that exercise and dealing with this tropical storm system?
Yes, this is another evidence that the National Emergency Management Center and the National Committee for Civil Defense is capable of dealing with multiple situations, whether participating in national major exercise like al-Shumukh or in dealing with real-life situations like this cyclone.
Okay, so finally, are there any messages you would like to give to the public?
Yes, what we have achieved in the past and, the praise that we have got and the risks that we have been able to reduce and mitigate what was not, to happen if it was not for the understanding and the awareness of the communities, both Omanis and residents. So we ask the various communities that might be affected by the cyclones to adhere to safety precautions, to avoid lower areas, and to stay far away from wadis. And inshallah, we look forward to having another positive experience that we would be proud of here in the Sultanate of Oman.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Dalia, that was Lieutenant Colonel Faisal bin Salim Al-Hajri, Director of the Executive Office at the National Committee for Civil Defense. And now over to you with the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Saleh Al-Rahbi and Lieutenant Faisal Al-Hajri for the updates on the tropical storm Luban. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. A number of wilayas in the governorates of Dhofar and Al-Wusta witnesses rainfalls and the tropical storm Luban moves towards Yemen. And the Public Authority for Civil Aviation affirms the continuity of air travels through Salalah Airport as normal and denies rumors on the suspension of flights. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and good night.